Big Brother, mainstream media, government cover-ups. You want answers? Well, so does he. He's Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network. And now, live from Austin, Texas, Alex Jones.
It's Tuesday, December 21st, 2010. It's the Alex Jones Show. I'll be your host for the first hour. Paul Joseph Watson, editor and writer for PrisonPlanet.com. Of course, Alex is taking a well-deserved break, but we've got some excellent encore presentation interviews coming up in the second and third hours with John Young of Cryptome, talking about WikiLeaks, of course, Professor Donald Light, as well as Lord Christopher Monckton. That's in the final 2 hours of the broadcast today. But in this first hour, we're going to be taking your calls at 800-259-9231, so get them lined up. And basically, you heard yesterday about how threat fusion centers across the country were basically recording and databasing your every email, phone conversation, instant message, and every little tattletale report that the local busybody provides to the authorities for them, of course, to hunt for terrorists. And of course, we know precisely who those terrorists are, but if we didn't, then Attorney General Eric Holder was gracious enough to remind us today when speaking to ABC News. Play the clip.
Of a terrorist attack here at home has also been the top priority of officials in the United States. So we want to bring in our senior justice correspondent, Pierre Thomas, who just sat down for an exclusive interview with Attorney General Eric Holder. And Pierre, the Attorney General is a pretty circumspect man, but on this subject, he doesn't seem to be pulling any punches.
George, I've known and covered the Attorney General more than a decade, and I can tell you he was remarkably candid and quite blunt about the relentless nature of the terror threat the U.S. is combating. What keeps you up at night?
The concern that perhaps that we might have missed something. The threat is real. The threat is different. The threat is constant.
In a rare interview, the Attorney General laid out the most pressing terror threats. Dangers, he said, that are more diverse and increasing. Among them, the new rapidly evolving threat posed by homegrown radicals.
The threat has changed from simply worrying about foreigners coming here to worrying about people in the United States, American citizens, raised here, born here. You didn't worry about this even 2 years ago.
In the last 18 months, at least 50 Americans
That's right, ladies and gentlemen. Obama, Holder, and Big Sis have identified the terrorists, and you knew it, you are one of them. And if you doubt that you've now been identified as a terrorist by the Department of Homeland Security, then we've compiled at PrisonPlanet.com a handy list of behaviors, actions, or interests that anti-terror agencies and other federal and state authorities have all identified as signs of terrorism. And this is the behavior that the local Stasi informant Tattletale is being encouraged to report as suspicious activity under the See Something, Say Something campaign. Now, we've heard about the fusion centers, we've heard about the Washington Post, the Top Secret America, and now we really begin to see who is being defined as the domestic terrorist. We've compiled this handy list. Now, under the MIAC report, the following things are all signs of terrorism. See if you can relate any of these to yourself. Displaying bumper stickers and other paraphernalia associated with the Constitutional Campaign for Liberty and Libertarian parties. That, according to the MIAC report, is a sign of domestic terror. Supporting Congressman Ron Paul. You're a possible terrorist. Supporting former presidential candidate Chuck Baldwin, another sign of terror. Supporting former Congressman Bob Barr. Opposing the implementation of a North American Union. Owning gold bullion. Displaying historical US flags. And of course, opposing abortion. All under the MIAC report, signs of being a suspected terrorist. And this is the information that is now going to these federal fusion centers to identify you as the new Al-Qaeda.
Hello, friends. This is Alex Jones. You've heard me talk about Cal-Ben 5-Star Soaps for years. This is an American-made product of the highest quality and compares to nothing you will find in stores. You can buy factory direct, shipped via UPS right to your door. Check them out on the web at 5starsoap.com or call 800-340-7091. Take my word for it. Once you've used Pure Soap, you won't buy anything else. Since 1947, Cal-Ben Soap Company has been showing consumers that soap can be tough on dirt and gentle on the environment. Buy American and stay clean, as well as support InfoWars. Visit 5starsoap.com today or call 1-800-340-7091. Well, Marty, what do you have to say?
As founder and owner for over 63 years, satisfaction is guaranteed or double your dirt back. Call us at 1-800-340-7091 for a free catalog or visit our website, 5starsoap.com. Thank you.
Folks, you've heard us talk about Home Gain before. Home Gain is now offering a special promo where you get up to $150 when you buy or sell a home with a Home Gain agent you find through their Find a Realtor program. Home Gain lets you compare realtors anonymously. It's easy. Go to HomeGain150.com to find and compare realtors anonymously. Enter promo code HomeGain150 and receive up to $150 when you close a deal with a Home Gain agent. Share the Home Gain 150 promo code with your friends via Facebook, Twitter, text, and more. Look for Max, the Home Gain Gorilla, to find out more about how Home Gain is going to pay you. Visit HomeGain150.com today to enter your promo code and get paid for buying or selling a house. That's HomeGain150.com. Hi, this is Alex Jones. You've heard me talk about the delicious, easy-to-fix, and very storable foods from eFoodsDirect.com. I've told you for years that eFoods Direct has the best storable food on the planet. Now it's that time of year again, and their holiday special is here. They have 2 holiday price packs for you to put into your reserves for a secure future or to share with others. The first is a 6-month bulk supply in 10 cans. And the second is a 5-week supply of quick and easy-to-fix meals, including delicious bakery items shipped in heavy tote bags. Now, for a limited time, when you order 2 or more of these special holiday packs, you'll get free shipping on your entire order. Call now, 800-409-5633, or visit them at efoodsdirect.com/Alex. That's 800-409-5633, or efoodsdirect.com/Alex.
He's the T-Rex of political talk. Alex Jones on the GCN Radio Network.
Welcome back to the Alex Jones Show on this Tuesday, December 21st. Well, Attorney General Eric Holder has identified people born and raised in America as the primary terror threat. And just before the break, we were running through a list of definitions contained in state and federal literature of what characterizes a suspected terrorist. Now, of course, supporting Congressman Ron Paul, owning gold bullion, flying historical U.S. flags, all indications that you are a suspected terrorist. And that was out of the MIAC report. This is in their own literature. Joint Terrorism Task Force document released a couple of years before the MIAC report. Being interested in animal rights, being a lone individual, making numerous references to the U.S. Constitution, refusing to identify yourself to an authority figure. All are signs of potential terrorism. I'm sure you're starting to fit into one of these categories if you haven't already. Now, it gets even more out of hand. This is a Texas Department of Public Safety criminal law enforcement pamphlet. This came out in 2006. Now, listen to the following behaviors, actions, or interests that are also potential signs of being a domestic terrorist. This is the behavior that will get you put in one of these centralized federal fusion centers that they're now admitting contain every shred of data about the American people. Right? These are definitions of being a suspected terrorist, according to the Texas Department of Public Safety. Being a nice guy. That's right. Terrorists are nice guys too. So being a nice guy, that's a direct quote, by the way, nice guy, is a sign of a potential terrorist, okay? Wearing Levi jeans, also a sign of being a potential terrorist. You can probably start to see yourself fitting into some of these categories. Communicating predominantly by cell phone, email, or text message is a sign of suspected terrorism. And wait for it, looking normal in appearance. That's right. The Texas Department of Public Safety, in its own document, specifically lists looking normal in appearance as a possible sign of being a domestic terrorist. Now, of course, we've had other similar documents, such as the Virginia Training Manual, which lists being a property right activist, trying to influence government or social policy, or even, quote, undermining confidence in the government, which basically means not joining this bandwagon of government cult worship, all, according to state and federal authorities, signs of domestic terror. So when Attorney General Eric Holder says that the threat is homegrown from people born and raised in America, this is the list of definitions that he is working off. This is being communicated out to law enforcement, to these federal fusion threat centers. This is what Big Sis is encouraging the Stasi Informant Society to pick up on. See something, say something, and you know, if you've got a map, if you use binoculars, scuba equipment is listed in one of these documents. All this is suspicious activity now in the new America. Now, of course, we have the FBI training 10,000 garbage collectors across the country to look for this exact kind of suspicious behavior. And now, according to Peter King, this is on Infowars.com, soon-to-be chairman of the House Homeland Security Committee, questioning the official story of 9/11 is, quote, a vile remark and could make you subject to investigation. So, ladies and gentlemen, this is why, as the FBI is busy entrapping all those mentally deficient Muslim patsies by directly giving them the explosives and then arresting them and labeling it an ominous sign of the terror threat, Homeland Security, Big Sis, is fighting the terrorists by spying on Tea Party groups, you know, liberals, conservatives, anti-drilling activists, Second Amendment groups, and even state reps, as we recently saw in Pennsylvania. So the real threat has been identified as politically aware Americans who actually try to exercise their constitutional rights, and failing that, even worse, you know, nice guys who appear normal are also now domestic terrorists, according to these state and federal documents and literature. And let's not forget that the Department of Defense lists low-level terrorism in their own documents, lists protest, I should say, as low-level terrorism in their own documents. So directly identifying any organization, any demonstration, any political protest as an act of low-level terrorism. This is the new definition. These are the signs that people will be reporting on under Big Sis's new See Something, Say Something campaign. And what's the outcome of this Stasi Informant Society that they're now creating? Well, we're starting to find out. Associated Press today. Headline, Police. Flyer wrongly accuses Philly man in deaths. Some locals had some grudge against this man, so they plastered up his photo, his name and address on a flyer, accusing him of being behind all these rapes and murders in the area. Again, precisely, as I was talking about yesterday, the very thing that's being encouraged by government, and it's exactly what happened in Nazi Germany and Soviet-controlled East Germany. The tattletale tips are completely useless. They've got nothing to do with security. This is about self-serving people who have been brainwashed to feed on each other, turning in their neighbor for something they didn't do, you know, merely just to get even. And it harks back to Robert Galately's Florida University study, which we also briefly mentioned yesterday. people did it for reasons of personal grandeur, for career prospects. There was even one example of somebody who lived with another couple, and they were not the cleanest individuals when using a shared bathroom. So they reported them to the local Gestapo as being, you know, a political subversive, and they were carted off to the work camp. And now we're starting to see this filter into America, where people are reporting their neighbours for rapes and murders which they had nothing to do with, simply to get back at them for a grudge. So it's already unfolding. And all this information that they report, remember, is being sent directly to these federal fusion threat centres, where they then use it to identify suspected terrorists. And what's the purpose? It's to make Americans rigidly conform their behaviour, their every action, everything they say, to what's expected of them by their rulers. You know, if you don't get on the bandwagon of government cult worship, then you will be reported on by your neighbours. That's the fear they're trying to instill. You know, you will not exercise any of your constitutional rights, you will not own firearms, you'll not speak out against the state, and you will not organise a demonstration or protest. It's about chilling free speech. It's got nothing to do with the terrorist patsies that the FBI gives the bombs to and then says, look, they were going to conduct a bombing after we gave them the explosives. So it's about creating this chilling atmosphere, this environment where everyone is petrified of Big Sis knocking at the door. It's about Americans becoming obsessed about every potential minor transgression, scared that their neighbour might misconstrue their behaviour as suspicious and inform on them, as the message from Janet Napolitano, Big Sis plays at the Walmart checkout, report suspicious activity. Again, that the nature of that activity is never defined in the message, but then you look at the information that's being put out by these authorities, and it's Ron Paul supporters owning gold bullion, organising a political rally, organising a meeting, just any behaviour whatsoever, even banal things. The Texas Department of Public Safety, you know, being a nice guy, they say, is a potential sign of terror. Appearing normal in the way you dress, your appearance, potential sign of terror. So it's a catch net to include everyone. It's guilty until proven innocent. And when everybody's a terrorist, then they can use that justification to collect information about the entire population. So it's about creating this fear factor where people are afraid to exercise their rights for fear that it would be misconstrued as terror. Now that every political activity has been characterized as potential terrorism. So what's the solution? Well, as the old cheesy saying goes, you know, feel the fear and do it anyway. I mean, the only way you can combat a flagrant attempt to carry out what is an end run around the Bill of Rights by making people afraid to exercise those rights is just to exercise them more strongly and proudly than ever before. And because we've become so fractured as a society and people are trained to be suspicious of one another, then they're exploiting that to its maximum degree to try and make people not exercise their rights for fear that that might happen, that their neighbour might become one of the local tattletales under this Big Sis Stasi campaign. So you've just got to explain to people, you've got to explain to your friends and neighbours that distrust of government is the highest form of patriotism. You know, they've tried to define it as a mental disorder. Now they're trying to define it as a sign of potential terrorism. But the fact is that the only terrorists are a government that would try to destroy dissent, because that's what the founding fathers embraced, and now they're trying to destroy everything that America stands for under this onslaught against the Constitution. We'll be back with your call. Stay tuned.
In a coming apart world, you need something to keep it tied together. That something is Atwood Rope, the highest quality rope made in the USA, from exotic braids for military, rescue, arborists, shipyards, tow line, or boating. Quality rope at affordable prices you and your customers can depend on. Find a dealer or shop online at atwoodrope.net. Enter promo code RADIO to receive 100 feet of 550 paracord free with purchase. Atwood Rope, working to keep the world tied together.
Hi, this is Ted Anderson. Have you ever wondered why banks, stockbrokers, investment advisors won't talk about gold IRAs? They've been available since 1986, yet the financial industry won't recognize the value of gold for your retirement. Gold has outperformed paper investments, yet no word about IRAs. If you would like to have gold for your retirement, call 800-686-2237. Don't get left behind by rising inflation and low returns. Call 800-686-2237. Secure your future and call 1-800-686-2237. Making the right decisions is a challenge to investors. Are we going to see economic growth, slide into a recession, or at worst, depression? Hi, Ted Anderson from Midas Resources. We all know when a company acts irresponsibly, divesting ourselves in a move towards safety is prudent. When the market becomes volatile, U.S. Treasuries are a safe haven. But what do you do when the U.S. government overextends itself and spends beyond its means? Many investors are turning toward gold as a common-sense alternative to traditional paper investments. Midas Resources has put together a powerful book titled 10 Reasons to Own Gold, discussing costs, benefits, risks, featuring full-color illustrations, weights, and measures. The book is free and can be yours by calling 800-686-2237. Paper investments are dwarfed by gold's 6,000-year history. Discover how gold may be right for you and your IRA by calling 800-686-2237. Whether buying or it's time for you to sell, the book is free. Call 800-686-2237.
They helped to create a new world order.
We are part of a new world order.
A new world order based upon collective action.
Invisible Empire is a damning indictment of the globalists through their own words and documents.
The new world order really is a tool for addressing a new world of possibilities.
It means all the world under their control.
The United Nations would take over America. The Trilateral Commission would control the world.
Invisible Empire chronicles how men of power and influence have worked in stealth for centuries to establish an oppressive world government.
I believe, first of all, that we now need nothing short of a world constitution for the global financial system.
Global governance with the establishment of the G20.
So it's going to be an inner ruling elite and then everyone else. And I got news for you. You're everyone else.
Invisible Empire. Secure your copy today at Infowars.com or PrisonPlanet.com, or watch it online in the highest quality at PrisonPlanet.tv.
9 years, thousands of clients worldwide, amazing results. And here's more proof of the effectiveness of how Heart and Body Extract supports good circulation and healthy arterial flow.
My name is Crystal. I'm a 45-year-old and live in Houston, Texas. I was diagnosed with having mitral valve prolapse 10 years ago. My cardiologist said surgery and drugs was the only thing he could offer me.
What did Crystal do?
I ordered Heart and Body Extract in August 2006. When I first took my first 15 drops, I embraced the formula and could even feel the goodness of the formula starting to work.
Clean, clear arteries are happy arteries after using Heart and Body Extract. Learn more at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. That's hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305. HB Extract comes with a 100% ironclad money-back guarantee. Details at hbextract.com or call 866-295-5305 for Heart and Body Extract.
So, how does it feel to be characterized as a terrorist by your own government for merely engaging in a political demonstration or organizing a rally? Or worse yet, merely engaging in banal behavior like using a large amount of cash or wearing Levi jeans, or God forbid, appearing normal and being a nice guy, which is now a sign of being a terrorist, apparently, according to Big Sis. and the federal and state fusion threat centers. 800-259-9231 will be going to your calls in the next segment. Now, running parallel to this new purge against the American people by trying to define everyone as a Al-Qaeda member, we've got them trying to craft this new version of the Espionage Act to identify people who use the internet to criticize government as traitors and spies. And now, of course, today, Jenna Chowsky at the FCC is about to pass this so-called net neutrality bill, which will basically turn the internet into a cable TV-style controlled and regulated domain. And, you know, it's just like they called it the Patriot Act when it was the most unpatriotic thing imaginable. This is the exact opposite of net neutrality. And as Senator Al Franken writes on an article which we posted today at prisonplanet.com, quote, mobile networks like AT&T and Verizon Wireless would be able to shut off your access to content or applications for any reason. For instance, Verizon could prevent you from accessing Google Maps on your phone, forcing you to use their own mapping program, Verizon Navigator, even if it costs money to use it and isn't nearly as good. Or a mobile provider with a political agenda could prevent you from downloading an app that connects you with the Obama campaign, or for that matter, a Tea Party group in your area. It gets worse, writes Franken. The FCC has never before explicitly allowed discrimination on the internet, but the draft order takes a step backwards, merely stating that so-called paid prioritization, the creation of a fast lane for big corporations who can afford to pay for it, is cause for concern. Now, in the name of protecting net neutrality, Jenna Chowsky at the FCC is personally calling up the CEOs of these top corporations to craft this bill. So it's just like Obamacare being written by the insurance companies. You know, the very corporations that these rules about the internet are supposed to curtail are being written by the same corporations. And basically it gives major internet backbone hubs the power to block access to websites they don't like. We've had a taste of it with things like level 3 communications. You know, if they fall out with one of the other backbone hubs, millions of people can't access Prison Planet and InfoWars. This is what this new system will create, because what they're doing is calling it net neutrality when it's the exact opposite. It will allow corporations to create fast lanes and slow lanes. It will allow them to block certain content that they don't want on their network. And so if this is really properly implemented, you can say bye-bye to Prison Planet and InfoWars. I mean, it's like going to a newsstand and expecting to see dozens of publications and newspapers to choose from and being met with only one or two. It's about controlling, restricting the flow of information. And of course, the first thing they're going to do is use it politically. And the vote on this is actually taking place right now. It might have already happened. There's an article on the website where you can get the phone number to call the FCC. But most people say that this is just going to sail through. And even the liberals are screaming mad about it, calling Obama a sellout. Because Obama campaigned on the fact that he would, quote, take a back seat to no one in his commitment to net neutrality. And now, as the Huffington Post is warning about, his FCC chairman, Jenna Chowsky, is trying to spin this so-called net neutrality bill as mission accomplished, when, as the Huffington Post writes today, the reality is that reform is just a rhetorical front for industry compromises that reward the biggest players and K Street lobbyists while giving the public nothing. So the left, the right, everybody's aware of what's going on. Obama's sold out again, and the creation of this internet regulation control system that will drown out independent voices is sailing right through. We'll be talking about it after the break on the Alex Jones Show and going to your calls. Stay tuned. PrisonPlanet.tv.
We're on the march. The empire's on the run. Alex Jones and the GCN Radio Network.
Diamond Gusset is proud to announce the anthem of the Patriot Movement. They're offering a free CD, T-shirt, and bumper sticker with a qualifying purchase. Diamond Gusset offers great products at great prices while keeping Americans working.
I'm looking for a factory where a man can feed his family. Not worried about them moving it south, closing the doors and shutting her down tomorrow. I'm looking for America.
We're American and be proud. Go to gusset.com/America.
The land of the free and the home of the brave. Seems like I just woke up one day and it was gone, long gone. But I know in my heart it's still
Again, go to gusset.com/America today. This is Alex Jones with 5 good reasons you should consider buying a solar power generator. Number 1, new climate legislation could easily double or triple your electric bill. Number 2, our new energy czar wants to control how much power your electric company allows you to have. It's true. Total government control of electricity in the name of smart grid technology is coming. Number 3, in some areas of the country, the power grid is dangerously overloaded. And now new socialist legislation is only compounding the problem. Number 4, dangerous weather is always a threat to local grids. Every year, thousands of families lose their power from weather-related outages. Number 5, a solar power generator provides powerful backup insurance and peace of mind. Folks, I really believe in the solar power generators offered by Solutions from Science, one of my oldest sponsors. You can get more information at www.mysolarbackup.com. That's mysolarbackup.com. Remember, the government doesn't own the sun, so go to mysolarbackup.com or call 1-877-327-0365.
You've heard Alex explain how the Silver Lungs generator infuses the respiratory system with your self-produced colloidal silver solutions, yet many are unaware of the entire function of the Silver Lungs system and how it has been designed to deliver your silver solutions anywhere in or on the body. My name is Mario Cifaldi, and I'm the developer of the Silver Lungs generator. Not only does the Silver Lungs system produce endless colloidal and ionic silver solutions, it also comes equipped with the proper applicators and devices needed to deliver your silver solutions directly to key target areas. This includes the eyes, ears, nose, lungs, topically to the skin, and orally for the digestive system. Be sure to watch our new 7-minute video tour of the Silver Lungs system at www.silverlungs.com to learn more about how the Silver Lungs system works. As well, we are always ready to answer any questions you may have. That's www.silverlungs.com.
Rome's suspected bomb could not explode, say police. A suspected explosive device found in an empty underground train carriage in Rome today could not have blown up because it lacked a detonator, police said. AFP reports UN evacuated over suspicious odour. The UN Security Council and General Assembly were evacuated Tuesday because of a suspicious odour, a spokesman said. And the hysteria continues. They particularly like to push it at this time of year when everybody's travelling, just to remind them of who their masters are. We'll be going to your calls in a minute. Briefly, I want to mention what we've got on offer at prisonplanet.tv, because 2011 is going to be the launch of Alex's new TV show for members, exclusively for members. And if you're not aware of it, prisonplanet.tv, it's really taken off in the past couple of months. People who are already members will tell you, and a lot of them post on the Prison Planet forum. We've just added a ton of new material. We're adding new videos several times a week. These are exclusive video interviews for prisonplanet.tv members. Of course, you've got the daily audio and video archive streams, which are posted first at prisonplanet.tv in full at the end of the show. You've got searchable archives of every Alex Jones show on there. Every Alex Jones movie, a plethora of others. And just go and look on the front page of prisonplanet.tv right now and just take a look at some of the excellent video interviews we've posted in the past few weeks. And I know that the information's powerful because I personally watched every single one of them because I write articles about most of them. So we've got Alex Abella talking about the Rand Corporation, their agenda for World War III. We've got clinical psychologist Bruce Levine talking about learned helplessness and how the establishment is trying to define distrust of authority as a mental disorder. We've got Rosalind Peterson of California Skywatch talking about her research into what chemtrails contain and how they end up in our water supply. And there's lots more. It's prisonplanet.tv. This is what funds the operation. And it's still the same price as it was when we introduced it 6.5 years ago. It's $5.95 a month. And for a limited time, you can get the equivalent of 5 months free by getting a yearly subscription for just $39.95. So I really encourage people to take advantage of that, especially now when we've got the discount running, and that's prisonplanet.tv. Subscribe today. Okay, we're going to go to the calls. First up, Julio in Illinois. Julio, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hey, Paul, Merry Christmas to you across the pond, and Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah to all those freedom lovers worldwide. I knew last year as the CIA was getting set for their fake Christmas Day underwear bomber down in Amsterdam going to Detroit that 2010 was going to be a pivotal year, and it's, I mean, as we've seen, it's turned out that way, and they're getting set for 2011 being one of the most crucial years in the coming of the second American Revolution and revolution worldwide. Quickly talking about you're talking about Homeland Security and calling us all domestic terrorists. I mean, what else are they going to say, knowing that we constantly, with your awesome work, your brother's awesome work, and everyone at InfoWars and everyone worldwide, revealing the truth? What else are these scum going to say? Other than pointing the finger at us and calling us domestic terrorists, saying that those who believe in the Constitution, those who are against global warming, are right-wing nuts. And a quick trend, there's going to be man-made, they talk about man-made global warming all the time. What's going to happen this year? And this is what I mean in terms of weather modification. I just recently landed on a new document from the National Intelligence Council, September 2010, Global Governance 2025. Paul, if you can look that up. It's crazy. Even on the cover, it shows the G20, and we've heard Herman Van Rompuy, European Union president, talk about global governance with the G20, established by the G20. It has the IMF, the International Monetary Fund, right on the front, the United Nations right on the front. September 2010, and it talks about climate change as a way to bring about global governance. Now, you talked about yesterday how in England, with the record snowstorm all around England and Europe, that they're blaming it on man. Yesterday on CNS News, I saw on the Drudge Report, Janet Napolitano is having a climate change council with the Coast Guard. We've seen Ready.gov all throughout the country. Bill Gates was at Bilderberg. Bill Gates has weather modification patents. There was the Owning the Weather in 2025 from the U.S. Army, U.S. Air Force War College white paper talking about how a weather modification weapon would be so powerful because no one would know if storms were man-made or were they just natural occurrence. So I think 2011, as Lindsey Williams said, that we're going to be too poor to protest. With major storms, it damages infrastructure. Of course, we, the people, the peasants, the sheeple, are going to have to pay for this. So I think there is going to be man-made global warming in terms of weather modification. And another thing about the FCC, people need to know that the FCC, I'm a broadcasting major, the FCC has no regulations over cable, satellite, or the internet. Yet they say they can do this, and it boggles my mind that this is happening in Christmas. We remember 1913 with the Federal Reserve Act passing on Christmas Day, on Christmas Eve. You have the Obama death care bill passing last year, or a portion of it on Christmas Eve, and here we go again. We're right around Christmas, and what is the FCC and Big Brother talking about? Silencing the internet. Paul, Merry Christmas to you, and Merry Christmas and Happy Hanukkah to everybody.
Thanks for the call. Yeah, I mean, it's a sneak attack. I mean, they just snuck through, the Senate did on Sunday night, the so-called food safety bill, which is basically just a big agribusiness assault on local and small farmers. Anybody who has a turnover of more than $1 million a year, not a profit, just a turnover, which includes anybody with, 20 acres of land, they're going to put them out of business, basically. That's what it's about. They snuck that through on Sunday night. Congress is set to vote on that. They'll probably try and get that done before Christmas when everybody's not watching. So again, criminals work in the dark. They like to sneak their evil deeds through the back door. And you were just talking about the UN approach to climate change. Global Governments 2025. And in fact, we wrote an article a few months ago where the UN directly orders its alarmists and administrators to change the propaganda. They've been completely discredited on man-made global warming and climate change, with Britain now experiencing its coldest December on record low temperatures. They've said we need to get out of this kind of rhetoric. We need to replace it with something else, something which seems more genuine. And they've resolved to replace the threat of climate change with the threat of overpopulation, which many, particularly statists and liberals, subscribe to, when in fact, as we have vehemently documented time after time, the UN Population Fund's own figures show that global population will peak at 9 billion in around 2050, after which it will rapidly fall. The global replacement rate for human beings is already below the level of 2 in Europe. We're already dying out. And in countries such as even India and Brazil, the replacement rate is slowly starting to come back into line. The only thing that will cause overpopulation is if you don't allow third world countries to develop, which of course is what the climate alarmists are all about. They want to keep the third world in poverty because, of course, becoming a developed nation means emitting CO2. As Lord Monckton, who is coming on in the third hour, I believe, says many times, CO2 is the lifeblood of a developing country. You cannot develop without emitting CO2. And so they're going to try and restrict third world nations from doing that. But they've resolved to replace climate change with overpopulation because they know they've been completely discredited on man-made global warming, especially after ClimateGate. And the recent Cancun summit, again, was a total failure, just as the Copenhagen one was before that. Greg in New York, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Hi, Paul. Thanks for taking my call. I just wanted to call in. The first thing I saw when I went on the internet today, I check NPR News a lot just to see what the state is saying, what's going on. And interesting article first caught my eye. It says, human factor provides key obstacle to terrorism. This article is just talking about how the reason why all the plots in 2010 have fallen is because of, well, the people were idiots. And it mentions nothing of FBI involvement with any of them. It says here, there's an interesting quote, when you are trying to recruit individuals, you may not always get the individual you want. You may get the person who is most convenient. And that's almost like saying the FBI hasn't found a smart enough person to actually terrorize us enough yet. I don't know. I was hoping on your thoughts on that.
Every single terror bust that has made big headlines in the news in the US or the UK has been either provocateured or directly created by the federal authorities. I mean, you had this latest one where they directly gave him the bomb. We posted a video a few days ago on prisonplanet.com, and it was an Irish gentleman, and he went, it's in the multimedia section if you want to go and watch it, and he went through every single case where it's deliberate entrapment every time. So they need to create these incidents. You know, they need to have dud bombs in Rome that lack a detonator, like any, you know, self-respecting terrorist would plant a bomb without a detonator. They need to have strange odors in the UN building to create this hysteria, to make everyone continue to buy into the terror threat, which of course is completely contrived. The Christmas Day bomber being the perfect example of that. He was allowed to board the plane by order of the US State Department. That's never mentioned when we're getting propagandized about body scanners by the corporate media. And now the ABC News clip we played at the start of the show, if you watch that in full, it goes on to state that Anwar al-Awlaki, the CIA lackey, is now the new bin Laden. They've dispensed with bin Laden, and he's now the new primary target. Of course, they're loath to mention the fact that he was meeting with Pentagon top brass after 9/11, months after 9/11, having been a so-called spiritual leader for the 9/11 hijackers, and meeting directly with the ones who supposedly flew the plane into the Pentagon. He was dining with Pentagon top brass 2 months after 9/11, and now we're supposed to believe that he's the new grand boogeyman, when he's behind all these terror plots, the Hassan shooting at Fort Hood, the Times Square fizzle bomb. Every single time he's been the patsy handler, and he's a double agent, as Tarpley has exhaustively documented. He's clearly working for the CIA. That's why he was at the Pentagon after 9/11. But, you know, they think that as long as they can throw these dud bombs in Rome at us and strange odours in the UN, that they're going to keep the hysteria at a decent enough level to where people will just blindly accept all this. And again, it comes back to making people being afraid to express their constitutional rights because they fear that anything might be a sign of terrorism. So it's about chilling free speech and chilling the mere behaviour of a free person. You have to. They need you to behave like a slave. That's what they're trying to do. They're trying to enforce this subservience to government so that everybody needs to self-regulate their own behaviour and be a complete slave and be worried about having any independent thought or engaging in any criticism against the state. That's what it's all directed towards, as we spoke about yesterday. It's this psychological Berlin Wall that's being erected in the minds of people that they can't even imagine to escape across the other side for fear of being considered domestic extremists, as the feds now call them. Thanks for the call, Greg. Braun in New York, you're on the air. Go ahead.
Yeah, good morning. I'm a loyal listener. I'm glad you guys do this program. I have kind of an abstract question, so forgive me if I wander a little bit. I don't watch a whole lot of TV anymore just for the simple nature of the garbage that comes on. So what I do is a lot of times look on YouTube with a lot of different videos. Now, I was watching a particular video, a fellow by the name of Taj Tariq Bey. He is a Moorish American. I don't know if you're familiar with the Moorish Empire. But he said something that really stuck out in my head. He mentioned, he talks a lot about Masonic science and cosmology. I'm not very well versed on it, so I won't get into any details. But he mentioned that something to do with Uranus and Saturn, as far as secrets being unveiled and things like that. Now, the basic thought was that if the powers that be, you talk about Masons, Illuminati, whoever, if they're aware of all these Masonic sciences that were actually created by the Moorish Empire, then they're very well aware of the timetable as well. So, you know, on here you speak about a lot of times they're speeding up their program, and he was saying the same thing. He was saying that basically the people are waking up too fast. And it's almost like you can see it in just, once you know what you're looking for, things start to stand out to you a little bit more. And in the same way that your brain is just subconsciously tuned into it a little bit better. So I was wondering if you thought that, you talked about Lindsey Williams on here the other day. He was mentioning about oil spiking. Now, I watch the markets a lot, and I cannot envision a scenario where oil actually gets suppressed in any significant way. Right now, it's trading at about $89 a barrel. And I really think that that's going to be the one that squeezes really the whole world economy. And I wanted to know what you thought about that, whether you thought 2011 may be the year that they actually really speed it up and start to hit things a little bit harder. And I wanted to make a suggestion. Maybe when Alex comes back in, you get him on here. If anyone wants to follow at home, his name is spelled TAJTARIKBEY. He speaks a lot about exactly what's going on that they're trying to shield you from. And, I thought maybe that would be a good connection. Get him on here, have Alex Jones talking to him a little bit more. Some more of this stuff can get figured out because, we're turning towards a really dangerous predicament right now.
Yeah, definitely. We'll look into it. Send me an email, watson@prisonplanet.com, and we'll look into getting him on as a guest. On the subject of oil, we all knew it. We all know that it went above $150 a barrel back in 2008. And that was primarily because of a decrepitly weak dollar. And, of course, the dollar's still got a long way to go down. But all currencies are now depreciating when compared to gold. So oil at $89, I think it's got a lot higher to go, certainly in 2011. We'll be back after the break with your calls, Omar, Dave, Ian. Stay tuned. It's the Alex Jones Show live, prisonplanet.tv. Don't go away.
Hi, this is Alex Jones. Did you know that the global elite are now storing non-hybrid seeds in secret storage vaults near the Arctic Circle? Did you know that in a real meltdown, non-hybrid seeds can become more valuable than silver or gold? It's true, seeds have outperformed even gold and silver before in this country, and it's possible that could even happen again. So our friends at Solutions from Science have put together the perfect mix of non-hybrid seeds. They call it a survival seed bank, and it can produce an endless supply of nutrient-dense food for you and your family. And here's the best part. These seeds have not been genetically modified in any way, and you actually get enough seeds to plant a full-acre crisis garden. So visit them today at survivalseedbank.com. That's survivalseedbank.com, or give them a call at 877-327-0365. That's 877-327-0365. Remember, in a real crisis, non-hybrid seeds are the ultimate barter item. This is Alex Jones for survivalseedbank.com. Hundreds of nations have fallen to tyranny in the last century alone. This is our last chance to not relive history.
As they're finishing off this agenda, they'll be pulling the rug from underneath Americans at home.
Have tremendous influence on our president and Congress, and they really are calling the shots.
I think it's incumbent upon all of us as American citizens to pay attention.
Fall of the Republic identifies the enemies of our nation, the criminal offshore cartel, hell-bent on destroying sovereignty, and on its ashes constructing world government.
Tim Geithner, Bernanke, they're arsonists. They're asking for more matches. And the Congress is saying, who do we make the check out to?
Today seems like nobody does care. And right now in Washington, D.C., we have seen a fall of the Republic.
Get your copy of Fall of the Republic on DVD at Infowars.com or watch it online right now in super high quality at prisonplanet.tv.
We all know that Berkey Water Purification Systems are the most trusted name in water filtration. As an authorized Berkey dealer for over 5 years and serving thousands of satisfied customers, the Berkey Guy offers amazing specials for Berkey Water Filtration Systems. The Berkey Light Systems include a set of self-sterilizing and recleanable black purification elements that purify water by removing chlorine, pathogenic bacteria, cysts, and parasites to non-detectable levels and remove harmful chemicals such as herbicides and pesticides. Order the Berkey Light System today, complete with 2 black Berkey elements for only $209, and the Berkey Guy will include 3 sport Berkey water bottles and ship everything to you free of charge. That's right, 3 sport Berkey water bottles and free shipping. An $87 value, yours free. Call the Berkey Guy at 1-877-886-3653. That's 1-877-886-3653. Or order online at GoBerkey.com. That's GoBerkey.com today.
No one knows what it's like to be the bad man, to be the sad man behind blue eyes.
Final segment of the Alex Jones Show on this Tuesday, December 21st. Alex will be back at the end of the week. We got some great encore presentations coming up around Christmas, so hope you'll take the time to tune into those. All right, quick fire through the callers. Omar in Toronto, go ahead.
Hey, Paul, how are you making out with the global warming over there?
Yeah, it's pretty good. Just minus 26, 2 feet of snow. We're enjoying it. All the flights cancelled.
Yeah, it's...
I guess we just need to pay Al Gore some more carbon taxes.
Yeah, that's what it's all about. Yeah, I just wanted to talk about this, this culture of fear. I was at the airport when George Galloway came to town, and I wasn't really affiliated with any of the groups there. There was the anti-war and the pro-Palestinian groups. Nobody really wanted to talk to the media, so, I had to sort of talk for them. I mean, I don't blame them, but it seems like, people really are concerned about, look at those people in Chicago. FBI comes and kicks your door down just because you're a peace activist. So I think some of it is, working, and we just have to keep on, just stand up and speak our minds, because if not, they're just going to shut everything down. There was this story about Rachel Ray. I don't know if you ever heard about it. She was wearing a Palestinian scarf in some commercial, and they made them take the commercial down because she's wearing a scarf. It's just insane. So, of course, the first thing I went out and did was bought myself a Palestinian scarf, and I bought some for presents. So everybody should go out and buy a Palestinian scarf. I was actually thinking
don't
of putting
buy a
it
pair
on.
of Levi jeans, though, because that means you're a terrorist. Don't act like a nice guy or appear normal. According to the Texas Department of Health, that's a terrorist act. Thanks for the call, Omar. Dave in New York, go ahead.
Hello?
Yes, you're on the air, Dave.
Well, I think my son's a terrorist. He's 2 years old and he appears normal.
Al-Qaeda, I'm going to report him to Janet Napolitano.
I'm worried about him. But I just wanted to thank you guys. I wear Blue Diamond gussets, buy eFoods Direct. Oh, my God, silver.
Silver?
It's crazy.
Oh, my God.
I know.
Probably fly a flag as well, don't you?
I do.
And support Congressman Ron Paul.
Oh, my God, I got his books.
Oh, my God, terrorist literature.
I know.
Cold big sis.
But, I live right by the Niagara Falls Air Force Base. And I've noticed, it increasing in size. But mainly, what I've been noticing is their security police, what they call them, I guess, is that they, first they were patrolling more. Well, now I'm starting to see them pull over vehicles and conducting traffic duty. So, it's just kind of a police state thing that I've been noticing.
Right, it's all part of the harmonization between military and law enforcement. Getting people used to living in a decrepit, decaying banana republic third world country. And that's what they need to do when they implement that kind of militarized police state. Thanks for the call, Dave. Ian in England. Last caller, Ian. Go ahead.
Yeah, hi,
Ian,
Paul.
you're on the air. Go ahead.
Excellent. Good to hear you. Just a little call to, make people aware that come the new year, April time, March, April, May, is going to be a really serious situation from that point on. The first year's accounts are going to be released, which are obviously going to be dismal. They're already announcing the lowest pre-Christmas sales ever.
Yeah, we're out of time, sorry. The economy's in trouble. Rebroadcast coming up. This is the Alex Jones Show. I've been your host, Paul Joseph Watson. PrisonPlanet.tv.
Thank you for listening to GCN. Visit GCNlive.com today.
Hi, folks. This is Alex Jones asking you for a minute of your time to tell you about soap. Not detergents, but good old-fashioned pure soap made by the Cal Ben Soap Company, a family-owned and operated American company. My family, staff, friends, and radio listeners are constantly telling me how much they love these products for bath, hair, laundry, and dishes. There is nothing like these factory-direct, big money-saving, triple-concentrated soaps anywhere. Get a free detailed catalog by calling 800-340-7091 or see them online at 5starsoap.com or Infowars.com. Let's talk to the owner of 5 Star Soap, Marty Schachter, and see what he has to say.
As founder and owner for over 63 years, people keep asking me, how's business? I'm happy to say our business is going down the drain. call us at 1-800-340-7091. Visit our website,